What's up, guys? Welcome back to LoverCast. This week is one of the coolest topics I think we've ever had on this show. We're going to be talking about the power of your dark side. Now, I know it sounds cool, but trust me, it's even cooler than it sounds. So, here's the deal. I believe, and no one has ever confirmed this, but I believe the same qualities and traits that make someone successful in any field can be transferred to any other field. The same things that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan did to be successful basketball players, you can do as a business owner or as a person to hit your goals. The core principles of success, from what I've learned through all my reading, are the same regardless of your industry. Now, the way you go about it is different. You're not going to shoot basketballs to become a good businessman, but you're also going to do it in the same way. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Those systems and principles that you use are the same in every single field. And that is really interesting. Completely a theory. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just stupid. Yeah, I'm 24, guys. I'm still trying to figure this out. But here's the thing. I read a book recently. I study the greats a lot. I study pro basketball players, pro football players, pro athletes, pro business owners. I study the best always because I want to be the best. And I don't want to stop for anything. I don't want to just hit my goal and be done. I want to be the best. And that is how I've always been. So I've had this drive to be the best, and I think everyone should. So this book I read was written by the guy who trained Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan, the guy who trained Michael Jordan his entire career, the guy who made Michael Jordan in a lot of ways who he was, and how he made Michael Jordan's career so amazing and sustainable. Not only that, this dude worked with him so closely and learned the mentality of the top basketball players in the world. That is exactly what I needed because that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to study these great people. And so here's the cool part. One of the chapters in this book talks about the power of your dark side. It says, can you imagine a single pro athlete that you'd be shocked by if they had a scandal? A single famous person. Think about it for a minute. Justin Bieber peeing inside of a bucket. Tiger Woods having sex with multiple women while he's already married. You can think of so many scandals of big name celebrities every single day. It's not really surprising when it happens. It pretty much happens to all of them at some point. You're looking at YouTubers. PewDiePie's had many scandals. Lots of big YouTubers have, actually. Logan Paul had a big scandal. Think about that. Why is it that these big people have scandals? It's pretty interesting. It's actually proven that these more famous people have more scandals, not because they're more in the spotlight, but because they're actually doing these things more often than a regular person would do them, which is really interesting. And so the guy tells us that there's a dark side that people have. Every one of us has it. The dark side could be anything from alcohol. You love alcohol. You've got an addiction to alcohol. Maybe your dark side is sleeping around. Maybe your dark side is making a lot of money, getting famous. There's this dark side of you that you don't really want to admit that we all have. Every one of us has it. But a lot of us suppress that and say, no, I don't need that. Like, maybe you're married and you're always thinking about other girls or other guys. That's like your dark side. You're really driven by that, but you ignored it. It's not there. Tiger Woods was driven by that. I think he was sleeping with 8 women at once when he was in the zone and unstoppable. But the interesting thing is that you can leverage that dark side to give yourself more motivation and more energy to get your goals accomplished. Keep that dark side in the back of your mind and get yourself in the zone. The zone when LeBron James scores 50 shots in a row and doesn't miss. The zone when Tiger Woods is so unstoppable, he doesn't hear any of the fans and hits every single hole that he shoots. The zone, you guys all know what the zone is. That's a real thing. The zone is a thing, and you can use your dark side to get into the zone. It is so crazy, so cool. It takes a lot of practice. You have to figure out what your dark side is, but you can really get right into the zone and figure it out. Get your focus on whatever that thing is. It's not going to be good, all right? It's called a dark side. It's not going to be good, and you shouldn't share it with anyone because once you share it, it loses its power. Tiger Woods, once his dark side was revealed, what happened? He fell off. He went from the unstoppable, untouchable, greatest of all time to a guy who would win once in 10 years. He was winning every game, every single tournament he entered, and then suddenly he lost them all. And right after that happened, because all of this power he had built up, he lost. When it was exposed, he lost it. Instead of just coming out and admitting it and saying, yeah, I did that. Instead of doing that and saying, yeah, it's me, not apologizing, he came out, he apologized, he admitted it, he felt wrong, and then he lost his focus. He lost it all, and it tore him apart. When he went out to play golf, he was thinking all these people are judging me. He wasn't thinking, I'm going to hit this in. In fact, when you're in the zone, you're not even thinking at all. So instead of being so focused on the sport, he was thinking about other people and thinking about all this other stuff going on around him. So being in the zone is one of the most powerful things that you can do to be successful. And there's a zone for everything, from sports to business to studying to reading. And one of the ways it starts is with the dark side. And to me, I thought that was really interesting because that's something that I always actively try to avoid. I say, whatever is my dark side or your dark side or whoever's it is, you're always told, no, that's not good, or ignore it, or that's not okay, that's not acceptable. But it's honestly probably not okay, to be honest with you. You probably shouldn't act on it. but you can use it to drive you, to give you new motivation, and to really help you get to your goals. Because I think everything that you have, every emotion, every feeling, every single thing that you do every single day, you can leverage to get to your goals. So why let your dark side take you down when you can leverage it to hit your goals, when you can leverage it to get more energy, more motivation, more drive? Some people's dark side is insecurity, all right? They think back to when they were a kid and they were bullied. And every single day when they go to the gym, they think of that day where the kid, punched them in the face or whatever happened, and that drives them to become better. They're not going to go out and beat someone up, but they remember that feeling. They remember how it felt. And no, this is not me. That's one of the examples from the book. So they think about how insecure they feel. They're like, I'm not attractive. They're honest. They're like, I'm fat. I'm a loser. People call me a loser my whole life. That's your dark side. Use that to drive you. Some people's dark side is they don't feel like they're good enough. Every single day they're not good enough. Maybe you can remember these feelings or emotions or events that happened that just destroyed you. Your girlfriend cheated on you and it just hurt so bad. But you can think about it. You can remember how it feels. You can go back to that place and you can feel that pain. And then you can use that to drive you. Like before you're working out, you can sit there and remember all the things that happened. You cried, whatever happened. It felt horrible. You were torn apart for a month. That's your dark side, man. Let it in. Don't let it consume you, but feel it. Don't hide from it and use it to drive you. All right. You're not going to act on it. You're not going to go back to your girlfriend and say, oh, hey, let's get back together. I know you cheated on me, but I miss you. That's not what you're going to do. All right. That means you're not understanding what I'm saying. What you're going to do is you're going to remember how it felt. You're going to remember that day. Remember that moment. You won't forget it. It's still in your mind. And then use it to build up the power and the energy you need to get to where you want to go. Get rid of her. You're not going back to the girl. You're not going back to the guy. Whatever it is, whatever your dark side is. It's such an interesting concept, and I love it because I've seen myself do it many times. And I'm not going to tell you guys what mine is, like I said, but I injured my shoulder really bad right here last November. It's been almost a year. I was working out, and I was furious. And rage, anger, not a bad emotion. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I was furious. I didn't know what a dark side was, but I knew that this thing that had happened just made my blood boil. And I was lifting harder than I've ever lifted in my life. I was just going all in. I was unstoppable until I put on maybe 30 more pounds than I've ever done in my life, and my shoulder gets thrown out. It's a case of taking it a little bit too far, but it's a great example. You lose thought. You lose your track. I was so in the zone. I was so mad. I was like, I'm just going to push this out. I'm going to work out. And it was a great workout, but I took it too far. There's a limit. You got to stop yourself. You don't want to push yourself that hard. And I have that happen a lot now. I force myself to get back into that state because anger is not really a bad emotion. People say it is, but you can use anger to drive you in a lot of good ways. Now, there's a fine line, all right? If you're playing a sport, because it's really easy to give you examples in terms of sports. You're playing a sport and you get angry. Someone fouls you and you don't get a call. You get angry and you start talking to the ref. It's already over. Once you start talking to the ref, your head's out of the game, all right? But if instead you get angry and then you get in the zone and you forget everything else, the ref didn't give you a call, so you say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get those points back and more. I'm going to show you guys how good I really am. That's good anger, all right? That's anger that's driving you towards where you want to go. That's anger that's putting you in the zone. You can do it everywhere. So you can't complain. You can't use your anger to fight someone. If you fight, it's over. You lost it. You're not going back to the zone. You complain, done. Fight, done. Keep it inside. Don't show people how you feel. Feel it inside of you. You're angry. You know it's there. That's a powerful emotion. Use it. Use it to work out harder. Use it to hit your goals. Use it to push farther. Use it to run harder. To spend more hours doing what you want. To just feel it, man. It really can drive you in a lot of ways. So that's one of the ways the dark side can help you. You can force yourself to feel emotions. It's really interesting. One of the craziest concepts I've ever heard, and that's something that Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and other greats, Dwayne Wade, have done to become so successful. That's one thing they do all the time. They feel it. They let it not quite take over, but they really let that energy into them. And pay attention. Pay attention to celebrities. Pay attention to the scandals they get involved with, because one of the reasons so many of the celebrities make it to where they've made it is because they let their dark side out. They let their dark side drive them. And that's really powerful. Like, if your dark side, I'm just trying to give you guys a bunch of examples. If your dark side is like Tiger Woods, you love, sleeping around. That's what that drives you. It's bad. It's not good, but that's what drives him. He used that to drive himself. He said, I'm going to get famous. I'm going to make all this money, and then I'm going to be able to do that. Now, you probably shouldn't act on it, but he did, and he got caught, and that's what happened. But that drove him in a lot of ways to get to where he was. And once he lost it, once it was revealed, once he didn't own to it, he lost everything. So pay attention and try to figure out what people's dark sides are. Start to get a little better feel for it, and an understanding that everyone has one. But the people that aren't afraid to let it push them, aren't afraid to let it out a little bit, are the ones that are going to push themselves farther. You're going to see this happen over and over. Oh, my phone went off. You're going to see this happen over and over again for the rest of your life. Celebrities will have scandals. They're going to do things that you think are so stupid. How could Tiger Woods do that? He was the face of Nike. He had a family. He had kids. How could he do that? But once you understand, that was what's driving him in a way. It's really not so hard to imagine it happening to him or many others. LeBron James, he's got a dark side. I don't know what it is. He's been married to his wife his whole life. He's got a great life. He does so many great things. He's donated money to charity. He's done so many great things. He's got something that's driving him, all right? I'm not saying that's the only thing that drives him, but there's something there for him and everyone else that drives them to the top. So don't be afraid to let it out. I'm not saying you have to, all right? You can obviously get there without it, but why not take every advantage you can to get to where you want to be? That's my mentality. I think it's fantastic. What a fantastic book that I read. If you guys want to know what the books are or you're interested in reading, you can, of course, check out my website, loverfella.com, where I have all of my book recommendations there. I usually read 2 to 3 books per week, and then I'll pick out the most interesting things that changed my life, throw them into this podcast, and just talk about it. As always, if you guys like this, what I'm really looking for is feedback on this style. Do you want more edits? Do you want, you like it as it is? Do you want different topics? What kind of things are you guys looking for to make this experience better? I'm just trying to post weekly right now. That's my goal. But anyway, thank you guys for listening or watching. You guys are awesome. Spread the love. Like that screen. See you guys next Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Your boy's out. Peace.